Like they have the stigma here of like if you're half Japanese, you're almost like a foreigner.
Yeah.
So you're not
I
like
can vouch for that.
you're not like fully Japanese. And I think dating wise is a little bit hard actually. Finding friends as well is kind of
Very hard.
like I didn't know that it was that hard. Sometimes Japanese people can be polite but not kind. Can be super fake. And then I had an experience actually where a guy like went all the way in front of me and did his thing.
Hello, so here we have.
Haruka.
Yeah, so Haruka, could you please give us an introduction to who you are and a background?
A little bit background.
Yeah.
I'm Haruka. I'm 25. I'm actually half Filipino, half Japanese.
Yeah.
I was born in Japan, grew up mainly in the Philippines, and now I've been living in Tokyo for the past 5 years.
So past 5 years, so since you were 20 years old, you moved here, right?
Yeah, so after I graduated college, I moved to
Yeah.
Japan.
Did you graduate college back in the Philippines?
Back in the Philippines.
Oh, okay. What school? What school?
Colegio de San Juan de la Gran.
Okay, so the San Juaners, let us know who you are down below. But before anything else, being born in Japan, how old were you before you moved back to the Philippines?
So I was just like a toddler. So I was like 3 years old when I moved back to the Philippines. So I would consider myself born
Right.
Japanese.
So why did your family decide to move back to the Philippines?
So it was mainly because of my dad. I don't know how his thought process was,
Yeah.
but he valued us learning English so much.
Right.
And from my dad's perspective, the educational system in the Philippines is better than Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard that.
And actually, like I taught English for like 1 year in
Yeah.
Japan, so I actually saw how the school system is, and I kind of see why
You're right.
that way.
Yes. Before anything else, what was it like for you growing up in the Philippines as a half Japanese?
I mean, it's good in a way. Like I'm like the odd man out in the classroom.
Right.
I'm always it's the Japanese girl, even though I'm like Pinoy at heart. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
Because of my TPI and like. Yeah.
Was your first language also English or Filipino?
Yeah, so my first language was actually Filipino. And second is English.
Right.
And then in our house, I do speak a little bit of Japanese.
Right. Yeah. What was it like going to school also? Did you get bullied back before?
Of course, yeah. So like, you know how Philippines are with like Asian looking people. So even though I'm Japanese, sometimes, especially I'm pretty tall for a girl.
Look at me. I stand at six feet.
Yeah,
And look at her. She's quite tall.
I'm pretty tall, so like people would call me Yao Ming in high school. Just because I'm Sinkin and tall and Asian. Or I actually had an experience as well where they have like a cultural day or something.
Right.
And I was dressed as a Chinese girl from Japanese. Like I had
Right, yeah. I mean, before anything else, did it affect you in a negative way back then?
in a way, I don't think so. I think I like being different
Right.
in a way. It's always like, again, like I'm
Yeah.
like it.
No worries. Yeah, I wanted to ask that because, growing up myself in the Philippines, I'm half Japanese. I don't know if you consider me more looking like Japanese or Filipino, but I also got bullied. People used to say ching chong.
Yeah.
I would bring chopsticks to school. The guy would flip off my lunch, and I'm just like, come on, man.
Oh my god.
But anyways, I guess it turned out for the good, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like even my mom too, like when she goes back to the Philippines, she would always bring like Japanese lunchbox,
Right, the
like
bento
pencil
boxes,
case,
right?
and that's what I would bring to school. And I actually got a little bit embarrassed when I reached high school,
Right.
because like normally people would just buy their lunch
Yeah.
in school.
No, I get you completely. I get you.
And I have my layered bento.
Yeah.
It was just like food,
Nicely
Japanese food.
organized
Yeah.
and perfectly done.
And then I was like, Mom, I want to buy my own lunch in school.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so moving forward, living, that life, why did you then decide to leave the Philippines?
I mean, I guess how there's more opportunities here, I guess. And I wanted to see the other side of me, just like the Japanese part, because I've been grown up like Filipino, like ever since.
Yeah.
But like, there's that stigma of like, oh, you're half Japanese, so you're like this.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about my culture that much, so I was like, it would be a good opportunity to
Yeah.
move here and then become my adult culture.
So, what did you graduate, by the way, as in the Philippines?
I graduated with tourism.
Okay. Yeah. Did you ever get employed back in the Philippines?
I actually have it.
Yeah.
So like the first job that I've ever gotten was here.
Yeah. Right. So now that you've moved back from the Philippines to Japan, what was it like for you growing up in Japan this time at 20 years old?
So it's like the opposite now. So like
Yeah.
in the Philippines, they see me as, oh, the Japanese girl.
Right.
And then when I'm here, they see me as, oh, the Filipino girl.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
The
like,
foreigner.
yes,
Yeah.
the foreign,
The
like,
guy kokujin.
the guy kokujin, the hafu. Like they have the stigma here of like if you're half Japanese, you're almost like a foreigner.
Yeah.
So you're not
I
like
can vouch for that.
you're not like fully Japanese. And I have experienced the two sides of it, like the pros and cons of being Japanese and like being half. So like for example at work, sometimes I had an experience where I learned that I was getting paid more than the foreigners because I am Japanese.
Right.
But then there are some cases as well that I am on the other side because of half.
Yeah, you're
like,
a foreigner.
Yeah, so even now, like it took me 5 years, I think, to get used to that.
Right.
The first few years, it was like a little bit hard to fit in here, even though I'm Japanese.
Yes. And can I ask you a bit of a personal question?
Sure.
Did you ever experience any kind of racism here in Japan?
Of course. Yeah.
Can you tell us the story?
Like from a fellow Filipino or for like
Both.
from Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese, Filipino.
Yeah, so again, from work. So the first job that I had in our department, we actually have, I think 80% was half Japanese, half Filipino. But for some reason, my supervisor, he sees me as Japanese, right? Maybe from work ethic or I don't know. But then like we had like a discrepancy in terms of our like inventory, all that. And then he joked about it. I was like, do you think the Filipinos stole it? And then I was like, you're talking to him, you don't have, but he sees me like as Japanese, right? So that's like the racism part of it. When I was teaching English too, I have had experiences where like Japanese people would, I don't want to say like a bad word,
You
but
can say the bad word. Let's just go unfiltered right now.
but like shit on me because I cannot speak Japanese.
Right.
Even though I'm Japanese, so they're like, you're Japanese, but how come you can't speak Japanese?
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. So have you adapted quite well now?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. So I think I told you this the first time I met you.
Yeah.
I think creating your own community, living in Japan, especially as a foreigner or half, is very, very important. And it makes a huge difference. So now I'm right there. Japan is
Yeah. People picture Japan as like the perfect country, but like, would you agree with that statement? Okay, can you talk us through why that is so?
I think for foreigners visiting Japan, they have this honeymoon phase, right? Like with anybody, if you visit a country just for visiting, it's like perfect, it's nice. But living in that country is like a different type
story.
Of story. Yes.
Yeah. So coming from the Philippines, what are some of your culture shocks coming to Japan?
To Japan. I mean, like growing up, like my mom tried to instill like Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Oh, I think maybe how I dress or like how I look like. So for example, I have curly hair as a girl. That's like even my Japanese grandma would try to comb my hair. She's like, why is your
Wants to
hair
make
like
it straight.
that? Yeah. She's like, straighten out or like put more makeup or like dress more nicely.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Because when it comes to culture shocks, I had like a lot.
How about you? Because you've been here. I'm gonna interview you.
Okay. Put me on
I
the
want to
spot.
know because you've been here for 2 weeks.
3 weeks now.
3 weeks now.
Yeah.
That's like sure you have a lot.
Okay, that's the story, guys. So the moment I landed, my friend picked me up, right? He's a Filipino, whole Filipino that moved to Japan. He's in my channel as well. You can watch the interview down below. But the moment I arrived, I was literally mind blown about everything. And I hate to say it, and I don't want to like, downplay the Philippines in terms of like quality of life, but like the moment I landed, everything was quick. You go through the airport security, it was so quick to get everything you needed, so quick. There's no traffic, all the infrastructure was great. It was bloody cold, 23 degrees, wasn't cold back then, but I was freezing coming from the Philippines. And yeah, everyone just has their life, everyone minds their own business. Even that I was shocked with, everyone just, So literally everything Good
Well, like growing up, I think the reason why I don't have much of a cultural shock is because growing up, I always go to Japan.
Right, yeah.
Like once or twice a year
Yeah.
to visit my dad or my grandparents.
Also, your dad didn't go with you to the
Yes,
Philippines?
yes. So maybe that's why I don't have much of a cultural shock. But like, what about you?
Yeah,
Like,
so I've just been Philippines my whole life. I didn't visit Japan as frequently as you. The last time I went with my family is I think 2015, and I went back last year with some of my friends, and I was just like, I gotta move back here. But like yourself, also first language English, Filipino. But with that being said, what languages do you speak?
I speak the Filipino, English, and a little bit of Japanese.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Before anything else, I want to ask you now, what are some of your pet peeves about Japan? Mukhang madami yan eh, no?
Girl, like after 5 years.
Yeah, talk us through, and I'll share mine after.
Pet peeves, a lot. Like, I think dating wise, a little bit hard. Actually, finding friends as well is kind of
very hard.
Like, I didn't know that it was that hard to find friends, especially so like. If you think about Tokyo, right, it's like one of the biggest city in the world. But for bilingual people or like bilingual community, it's pretty small. Like I think you will see that the longer you live here. Everybody knows everybody. So sometimes Japanese people can be polite but not kind. So, so that's kind of like a pet peeve. They can be super fake in a way, but they're being polite.
Yeah. So that's the thing about Japan. You can be the rudest thing, but they'll be the most polite people ever.
Yeah, they'll just stare at you, but they're not gonna be like,
yep.
Why are you doing that? No, they're not gonna do. No, look at you.
So now I want to ask you, since you brought up about dating in Japan, what's it like dating in Japan? Let us be enlightened.
I can't speak for anybody.
Yeah, definitely.
But like from my experience as a girl, as an Asian girl, like sometimes, yellow fever.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. Like sometimes people would just date me just because I'm Asian.
Right. Yeah.
And then for Japanese market,
I like how you say the Japanese
market, I'm too foreign. Like I'm too
maybe
loud or maybe too outspoken. They don't like that. Like they like more typical like Japanese girl.
Traditional in a sense.
Traditional, yeah. And then like most people, especially foreigners, they're only here like temporarily as well. So that could be like a little bit hard. If you want like a long-term relationship, it can be a little bit tricky in Japan, for sure.
Now there's 2 horror stories I want to ask from you. And could you tell us a horror story about you dating here? And then I want to ask you about any horror story in Japan.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I have one, but I don't know if I want to share that.
If you don't want to, that's fine as well. Okay.
Or like it depends on you if you want to put it on your channel. But I have had an experience in the train.
Yeah.
Where it was like an empty train, right? So I sat down, it was summer, I was wearing this type of clothes, I was wearing a shirt and a short. But like in Japan, even though it's summer, if you notice, nobody wears shorts.
Yeah, that's true.
They only wear shorts at the beach. So it's like a fashion thing, right?
Yeah.
Me, I'm like comfortable wearing shorts, right? And then I had an experience actually where a guy like went all the way in front of me and did his thing.
I'm not gonna ask what that is, but use your imagination for that. I'll not think about it.
Yeah, and then like I've heard a lot of stories like that from my Japanese girlfriends. That's why I was like, I don't think that'll ever happen to you, or like, I don't think it's that common.
Right.
Pretty much it is.
Yeah.
But dating though, it's a real story.
Yeah. If you want to share. So you guys don't say anything bad about me that I've asked too much of a personal question.
I think I have too much that I don't even know what to pick.
Anything you want. And that's it for today's video, guys. I hate to break it to you, but this marks the end of our video. And I know you guys out there are very curious to hear more about Haruka, her life stories here in Japan, and basically her experiences about living here in Japan as a Filipina. I'll come clean to you guys out there. It's my fault. I take full responsibility. I lost the footage, the second part of this footage, while exporting this video and while producing this video, and it sucks to say that I have to cut this video short here. But with that being said, this leads me to my call to action for you viewers out there. Number 1, if you want to see a part 2 of this video, if you want to see Haruka again on the channel where we can ask her more personal questions about Japan that not a lot of Japanese media and YouTubers show out there about their life experiences, let us know down below in the comment section. And if you personally have any questions to ask Haruka, you can list it down below in the comment sections. But with that being said, it leads me to my second call to action, and if you want to see more of Haruka, make sure you follow her on her social media pages. Make sure you keep in tabs with the Japanese podcast, because the topics, the questions that are uncovered there are simply just mind-boggling. You are going to hear one of the most unfiltered podcasts about experiences living here in Japan, and if that tickles your fancies, I urge you right now to follow Haruka in her Japanese podcast and her social media journey here. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And if there's any topics or any video ideas you want me to do here in Japan, whether it's financial, whether it's a challenge, whether it's knowing about what Japanese culture is all about, let me know down below in the comment section, because I'm going to give it to you viewers out there. You know that for a fact. And again, if you want to see a part 2 of this video, let us know down below in the comment section. And make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Follow me on my social media pages. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see my personal life here in Japan, what I do on a daily and how I live my life. Follow that. Make sure you check out Haruka and her Japanese podcast. And stay tuned, because we have so much more content readily available for you viewers out there. So with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. Stay tuned in the process and the progress. And until next time, Taka Reviews fam. Bye bye.